I'm rating every go-kart track in America. Today we're at Atlanta Motorsports Park in Dawsonville, Georgia. Welcome to Tony's Track Review. Throughout this series, I'll be visiting different tracks across the country, rating them in 5 different categories, giving them a score of 1 through 5. Let's go see how AMP checks out. This is the track at Atlanta Motorsports Park. They use what they call the Super B track layout for rental karting. This configuration is a little over half a mile long, has 13 turns, a total elevation change of 43 feet, and the karts reach a top speed of 55 miles per hour. Let's hop on track for a walkthrough of this track layout. Coming over the crest of the hill, we'll begin our lap by going out wide to the curbing on the right side of the track. You'll want to do a small lift before turning in, and then slowly roll back on throttle before hitting the apex. Turn in smoothly, and stay as straight as possible through the chicane. Continue down the straight and prepare for the double apex at turns 6 and 7. Brake hard into turn 6, roll back onto the throttle after the apex, and you will stay flat out from here. Keep it clean through the chicane, and stay tight to the exit of turn 9. Turn as wide as possible through turn 10, and then work your way back to the right side of the track. Brake hard into turn 11, and gently roll back onto the throttle to fully rotate the kart through the corner. Brake gently into turn 12, and you'll want to be on throttle again by the apex of this turn, and stay on throttle going back up the hill. Keep it as straight as possible through turn 13, and that completes a lap around Atlanta Motorsports Park. This is a fun track with a lot of fast corners and a couple of slow corners too. My favorite part of the track is the huge elevation change that happens between turns 11 and 13. It also presents great overtaking opportunities going down the straight at turns 6 and 7, 11, 12, and 13. And for these reasons, I'm going to rate this track layout a 4.5 out of 5. Let's take a look at their karts now. Atlanta Motorsports Park uses SODI RT10 karts with an undisclosed engine configuration. The karts are configured with a roll hoop, 3-point seat belt, and fully adjustable pedals and seat. The pedals and seat have a lot of adjustment points, so you can be certain you'll find a comfortable seating position. I've only had minor issues with the seat slider getting stuck, but it really doesn't happen that often. For the sessions I've done here, I found that the throttle and brakes have been pretty consistent across different karts, but I have heard of some cases where the brakes aren't consistent, but that's not really unheard of in rental karts. One thing that I have noticed is the tires and the engine power tend to vary a bit between different karts, but again, not really uncommon in rental karting. And also, just to nitpick, the bodywork on these karts can vary from being in pretty good condition to being pretty beat up. But to be fair, they are getting abused like 5 days a week. Looking at the overall picture, I'll give the karts at AMP a 3 out of 5 for the great adjustability and the consistency of the throttle and brake feel. Pretty solid for concession karts. Now let's take a look at the rental equipment. AMP provides you with a large selection of helmets with sizes ranging from small to extra large. The helmets are labeled and organized by size, but some of the helmets have labels that aren't easily visible or completely missing. Or sometimes they're just put in the wrong spot. So make sure you double check that you have the right size, and don't worry, the staff will also help you out if you need. The helmets are in pretty good condition. I did find one with a broken visor, but a staff member quickly fixed it. In order to use their helmets, you'll need to buy a $5 reusable headstock, and after your session, you'll put your helmet up on this shelf to be sanitized. I don't recommend keeping your loose items in your pockets, so if you need to store any loose items, you can rent a locker for $3. You used to be able to put your stuff in a bin inside the briefing room, but last time I went, it wasn't there anymore. So just be aware of this when you go. So for the rental equipment, I'm going to give AMP a score of 2.5 out of 5. The reason for the score is the slight disorganization and the unclear labeling of the helmet sizes, and also the fact that you have to pay for the lockers. Moving on, we'll look at value next. Okay, taking a look at the pricing on their website, we'll evaluate both the 1-session and 3-session packages, as I believe these will be the most commonly purchased packages across all the tracks that we'll look at in this series. For the 1-session package, you'll pay $40 for 8 minutes of track time. That works out to be $5 per minute on track. I looked at 9 different karting locations across the country to gather an average price per minute on track. I found it to be roughly $3.30 per minute, but with such a small sample size, I will give it an average range from $3 to $3.50 per minute. With AMP being at $5 per minute, it was way over the average, even for a higher end track. Now let's take a look at the 3-session package. 3 sessions at AMP costs $93, divided by the 24 minutes that you get on track, you're paying $3.88 per minute on track. I also took an average price for the 3-session bundles at the same 9 tracks, and I got an average price of $2.67 per minute. Just like before, with such a small sample size, I will give this a range of $2.50 to $3 per minute. This puts AMP just above the average by 88 cents per minute, which is not bad given that it is a higher end facility. With all of this in mind, I will give AMP a 2 out of 5 on the value. It is more expensive than the average in both categories, but the single session price is just unjustifiable to me. It'll cost you almost $2 more per minute on track if you just bought the single session package. Personally, I would recommend getting the 3-session package if you come here, because it is just so much more worth it than the single session package. Let's move on and look at the overall experience. When you arrive, this is where you'll park. Parking here can get pretty crowded sometimes on busy days, but they have overflow parking. You'll just have to walk a little bit further. Next, you'll make your way to the karting clubhouse and check in. It's a pretty fast and easy process. Next, you'll grab your helmet and then wait for your briefing. They recently added these seats in the waiting area so you can test how you'll fit in the kart seats, which is pretty cool. During your briefing, they'll play a safety and informational video and check your helmet strap before heading out on track. To ensure your comfort during your stay at AMP, they have bathrooms downstairs and have drinks and snacks available for purchase. Or if you're really hungry, you can head upstairs to eat at their new restaurant, Fuel Kitchen. I tried the Tilk track burger with onion rings. It was really good and reasonably priced at $14. I also tried their cheesesteak sandwich with Parmesan truffle fries. This one was definitely my favorite, and for $16, it was not bad at all. You can also go out onto the balcony and watch the karts race. And if you're really lucky, you can catch a glimpse of the cars racing on the other track. I think that the full restaurant upstairs is beyond all expectations, and the clubhouse they have is really nice. Being able to potentially catch a real race with cars is also a bonus. So for the overall experience, I'm giving AMP a perfect score of 5 out of 5. That brings the total score to 17 out of 25, which is above my minimum threshold score of 15 out of 25. That means Atlanta Motorsports Park officially receives my recommendation. Alright guys, that does it for today's episode of Tony's Track Review. Make sure to comment below a checkered flag to let me know you've made it this far in the video, and also follow along for more track review videos like this. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and also comment below where you want me to go next. See ya.